Today's video could save you some money. I'm sharing the worst products I tried in 2023. I find hearing about beauty product fails as helpful, even more helpful sometimes, than hearing about favorite beauty products. It helps me understand why a product might not work for me or why it would if my skin or hair type is different than the reviewers. I always try here on my channel to help you make better buying decisions through my reviews and through sharing my favorite products and of course the fails along the way. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Now, as with my 2023 yearly favorites videos that I've been doing recently, I could have fit more products, more fails into this video because I test a lot of products throughout the year, but these are the ones that stood out to me the most, the worst of the worst, I guess we could say. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll begin with complexion products with foundation. I have two foundations and two concealers, actually, one high-end and one drugstore for each. I didn't plan that, that's just how it worked out. Now, for the foundations, they're actually both skin tints. I didn't separate out categories of foundations. I just put everything that evened out your skin tone into one category, and one is a bigger fail than the other. So I'm going to start with the drugstore worst product of the year, which is the NYX Bear With Me Blur Skin Tint. Now, this was a pretty polarizing product. People either loved it or they really didn't, like myself. The first thing about this product was that the shades were much more dark and yellow than how they were described, but I made that work. I brought it down my neck and it ended up looking absolutely beautiful because it blended out and blurred and smoothed so beautifully. The coverage it gave was medium to almost medium full. It was extremely flattering and skin-like and gave this beautiful flawless finish that lasted for about an hour or an hour and a half before it got really shiny in my T-zone in the center of my face and started to emphasize texture and lines. And it started to just look heavier as the day went on, and it did start to fade in areas and it did transfer on me. Now, I test out a lot of foundations and concealers here on my channel. It's a regular thing that I do. And when I test out foundations, I always test them over a period of days using no primer and using various types of primers and different methods. And no matter what I did with this, it just would not perform for me. I wasn't sure if it was a combination of my skin type and the climate I live in or what it was. It just didn't work. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of my skin type, I do have combination skin that is pretty normal around the perimeter, but can get some dryness and dehydration. And the center of my face is shine prone. I can get some oil and shine breakthrough during the day. I really wanted this to work because of how beautiful it looked initially. Now, I always share what skin types I think foundations will work best for when I do reviews, whether they work for me or not. And this one was one that I kind of struggled with because after I complete a foundation review, once I fully have my verdict and I'm ready to go, I start looking at online reviews to see if I'm on par with other people or if I'm kind of the odd man out. And reviews were all over the place. I saw people with oily skin saying it made them way too oily. It broke down on them. I saw people with dry skin saying it emphasized their dry areas. And I just could not figure out who this would be best suited for other than normal skin. I just know it certainly was not me. I couldn't get it to last. It exaggerated everything bad and wore terribly, which was really unfortunate because it really did look great for about an hour. Another foundation or skin tint launch I was really excited to review this year for you was the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Skin Tint. The only way I could get this to apply without pilling on my face was to apply nothing underneath it, not even the vitamin enriched face base that they sent along with it, because I did receive this in PR. Now, when it did apply properly with nothing underneath it, it gave very sheer dewy coverage, kind of like Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. It's a very sheer tint meant to just even out your skin tone, which is absolutely fine for a skin tint, but somehow it managed to look oily and dry at the same time. I'm still trying to figure that out. It seemed to kind of sit on top of my skin and look kind of patchy. It was really hard for me to capture it properly on camera, and sometimes I didn't even notice that it was doing that until I set it with powder, which I did have to do because of my skin type and because of how dewy it was. And because it stayed dewy, oily, I could just feel it on my face when I wore it. It was definitely not lightweight. I was really excited to try it because I was hoping it would replace my discontinued skin tint that I had loved forever, that was so beautiful for my skin type, that was basically bulletproof and wore beautifully all day, even in heat and humidity, and basically just looked like skin. I never got shiny with it, but this was not nearly the same thing. It may work much better for dry skin with no texture at all, but it did not work for me. I'll start with the drugstore concealer, just like I did with the foundation. Now, there are quite a few people that really enjoyed this concealer. Keep in mind that I have very dry under eyes that have fine lines and texture. The reviews that I saw that really like this don't have as dry of under eyes, so it's something to keep in mind. So this is the Revolution IRL Filter Finish Concealer. I did love the coverage. It gives medium full to full coverage, which is fantastic if you have discoloration, dark circles, and under eye hollows like I do, but it has a matte finish. In the video where I reviewed it, I show you on the back of my hand exactly how matte it is. It just gets drier and drier on my under eye area and starts to exaggerate the dryness, the texture, and the fine lines. It just did not work for me and my under eye type. So if you have very mature under eyes or dryness, I would steer clear. But if you don't, if you have oily under eyes or normal under eyes, less dryness and texture, you may really love this. I know my friend Risa, who is older than I am, but she has less dry under eyes. She really loves it. This is a product that I wish worked for me because the coverage is great, but it just did not look good because of the texture and the dryness. The high-end concealer I had high hopes for and really thought I would like, but really didn't, is the Smashbox Halo Healthy Glow 4-in-1 Perfecting Pen Concealer. The first thing that I noticed was that the neutral shades were very, very yellow toned. I am someone that likes a peachy pink tone to my under eye concealer. It's just way more flattering than yellow. And when I select a neutral or a pinky peach undertone, I don't want it to be yellow. And these were very yellow toned. Now, it blends out easily and quickly, but I remember it setting pretty quickly, and it would get kind of patchy if I didn't work one eye at a time. And even though it did set down pretty quickly, it did crease up as I continued to do the rest of my makeup. So it still wasn't self-setting, even though it just kind of thickened up as you would apply it. The finish was pretty radiant. It gave light medium to medium full coverage. The coverage lasted throughout the day, but it did settle into some of my fine lines. It felt lightweight and had some nice hydrating ingredients in it, but as the days that I tested it wore on, I found my under eye area would feel kind of dry and tight, which was weird to me. I also find it to be pretty expensive for the amount you get with the waste that occurs as you click it up. There were so many more better hydrating medium coverage concealers on the market that gave you bigger bang for your buck, more for your money, that didn't have product waste along with them. This was just a huge fail for me in 2023. How many of you tried the Makeup Revolution Balm Glow? I think this was supposed to be a dupe for that Jones Road product that went viral. Maybe this went viral too. I can't remember. There were so many launches in 2023. This was a very sheer, glossy cheek product that was almost like putting a very sheer tinted form of Aquaphor or even lip gloss on my cheeks. It just never sets down. There's very little pigment and it just feels gross and sticky and tacky. It's not an elegant product in my opinion. I have so many great cream and liquid and stick blushes that I love that look natural and beautiful and look like skin, but they set down, they wear beautifully throughout the day, and I can't feel them on my cheeks. I don't feel like I have a layer of cheek product on like I did with this one. This just felt gross. It gave me such little color. Just no, I hated this product so much. I'm sure there are people that really like it, but it was not for me. I have another face product with the Kaja Bouncy Highlighter. Now, I'm not a huge highlighter all the time person. I only like them if they give me a really natural, pretty, dewy sheen. And I thought that's what I was gonna get from this. But after I blended it out, that dewy part completely disappeared. And I ended up with just micro glitter and no highlight at all. It did not look natural at all. Now, I don't even see these on Sephora's website anymore at all, and I only see 3 shades on Kaja's website. So I don't know if this was a 2023 launch that failed or if they're revamping them or what, but I did not like this highlight. It was basically everything I don't like in a highlight in this cute little package that made you think it was going to be this sweet, dewy, pretty highlighter. It was not. Throughout the years, I've shared a lot of really great, easy, one and done liquid or stick eyeshadows that perform really well. They're easy to apply and they look beautiful even on textured lids. This was not one of those for me anyway. This is the Wet n Wild Shadow Silk Liquid Shadow. And you know, I probably should have said this earlier, but you're probably noticing that all of these are photos up in the corner because I already ditched these products. When products don't work for me, I just don't feel the need to keep them in my life, to keep that clutter around. So that's why we have photos up in the corner. So this dried down to a really unflattering finish. It just looked kind of crinkly and textured. So if you have texture or dryness on your lids, if you're in the over 40 camp like I am, this might not be a go-to liquid shadow for you. I mean, it may be, but for me, it was not. I had high hopes because these look really pretty in the packaging. When I applied it, it looked really nice. I just wasn't impressed with this formula at all. If you have oily lids, these may work really, really well for you. But when they dried down for me, they just started to almost feel a little bit hard and they just weren't flattering. I was really disappointed. I have 2 mascaras here, a drugstore and a high-end, that didn't work for me for the same reasons. So I'm talking about them together. We have Benefit Fan Fest and Essence I Love Extreme Crazy Volume Waterproof Mascara. I've had great success with pretty much all of Benefit's mascaras. So when this launched, I couldn't wait to try it. The ratings are really good. They're still good. And I also typically have great success with waterproof mascaras. So I just thought I would love both of these, but both of them smudge on my brow bone by the end of the day like crazy. And actually, the Essence smudged on my brow bone pretty quickly. It was within the first 2 hours. The Benefit took a little bit longer. And I always use eyeshadow primer and set my eyeshadow primer with powder from at least my crease up to my brow bone to prevent things like this. So to have both of these mascaras smudge on me, even with that happening, I don't know what it is. Maybe it is my extreme humidity here. Whatever it is, I've tested these on multiple days and it's still happening. I have a lot of great mascaras in my life that don't do this. So there's clearly something happening with these. I was very disappointed, but I do have other mascaras from both of these brands that do work well for me. I just don't understand why these don't, but they don't. I really enjoy a good lip plumper to give me some volume back that I've lost throughout the years, and I use regularly lip plumping glosses, but I don't like ones that give me that stinging, burning sensation. I wouldn't say that makes a product a fail though if it does that. So that brings me to the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Lip Liner that was a launch in 2023, which I really wanted to love because I thought a plumping lip liner that, you know, just was directly on my lips throughout the day underneath other products would be fantastic. I love a lot of things from Too Faced and I thought, okay, this is going to be a great product. This has a flat tip instead of a pointed tip. So for me, it was harder to get a precise line. I think because my lips are a little bit deflated from, you know, just the years and aging, and my lip line just isn't quite as even as it used to be. But the pigmentation is really nice. These aren't dry, so they do glide on pretty nicely and they're opaque. Now I find that these plump a fair amount, but they don't completely smooth my lip lines or anything like that. But I do find that they give a stinging, a burning sensation that to me is pretty uncomfortable, and it just lasts and lasts and lasts and doesn't go away. One more thing is that when I wear other lip products over this, which I pretty much always do because it's a lip liner, I put a lipstick or a lip gloss on top, it feels thick underneath, and I just don't really like the way that feels. So there were just several strikes against this product that made me not like it like I wanted to. This ended up being a pretty big fail for me. Another lip fail that I thought I was gonna love is the Inky List Tripeptide Balm. Now, I bought this with the fall Sephora VIB sale to replace the Drunk Elephant Lippy Balm that has been a holy grail for me for years, which was out of stock. I know a lot of you remember that because you love it too. Now, the Drunk Elephant Lippy Balm has regenerated pigmentation around the perimeter of my lips, which is one reason why I continue to use it. It also just keeps my lips from getting chapped ever. It's amazing. It's been worth every penny, but it was out of stock. I was looking for something else with peptides, with tripeptide 1 in it, and I found the Inky List. This has a very chemical taste and scent to it that I wasn't expecting. I guess I thought it was going to be unscented because of the packaging. It's also very oily and runny, and I would sometimes wake up in the morning without anything on my lips. My lips would feel dry. It just didn't stay on my lips overnight because of how oily and runny it is. My lips also got chapped with this, even using it regularly. So this was a big fail for me, which surprised me. Thankfully, Drunk Elephant Lippy is back in stock. I hope I didn't just jinx that. As soon as I saw it was back in stock, I ordered 3 just to be safe. I know there's all kinds of Drunk Elephant controversy with kids using their products and whatnot, but this lip balm will stay in my life forever. Comment down below if you remember when I tried Nude Sticks Nude Screen SPF 30. Do you remember how dark and oily it was? I was shocked. I couldn't get over how dark that shade was. I think it was shade light. It was ridiculous. And it was the greasiest, oiliest sunscreen I've ever used. I couldn't continue to test it out a full day, even 5 minutes. It was an immediate scrubber. I don't think I've ever tested a sunscreen and had that happen before. I had to wash it off because I couldn't stand the way my face felt with only half on. I had applied half and I was gonna apply the rest, and I knew I could not put any more on my face because it just felt disgusting. I could not proceed. That is the worst sunscreen I think I've ever tried. I'm sure there are people that love it, but wow, it was the worst. Oddly enough, I have 2 cleansing balms in this video. I find that strange when I could have put any types of products in here, but these stood out to me so much. They needed to be here. So first is the Clinique Take the Day Off Charcoal Cleansing Balm. Now, I really like the original Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. It's effective at removing my makeup. It doesn't leave a residue before I go in with my regular cleanser at night. I think it's great. So I had no hesitation and was actually really excited when I saw this launch. I went out and bought it immediately. They said this one was supposed to work better for combination skin because of some of the ingredients and the charcoal and whatnot. But what happened when I used it was this gray, black, drippy mess that didn't allow me to see whether my makeup was being effectively removed or not because it was all black on my face. I couldn't see if my mascara was being removed or my foundation or anything because of the color of the cleansing balm. Then when I went to remove the cleansing balm, it dripped everywhere. Now, I wear those wristbands that help water to not drip all over my counter and down the fronts of my cabinets. And even with wearing those, you don't realize how much water splashes everywhere, even just all over the insides of your sink, until you use a product like this. I had to rinse out under the rim of my sink, all over everywhere just to get this residue off when I was done. It's just a messy product. It doesn't allow you to see what's going on. I just hated this cleansing balm. I'll stick with the regular. Thank you. The next cleansing balm is less expensive, and I thought I was going to like it because I've been really liking a lot of products from this brand. It's the Versed Day Dissolve cleansing balm. Now it has a really, really strong spa-like scent. Now one thing I'm really particular about with cleansing balms is that they shouldn't leave a greasy, oily residue. They shouldn't feel slippery before you cleanse your face regularly. They should rinse away cleanly. This one does not do that. It leaves this slippery, greasy, oily, slimy residue. Even though it says it rinses away clean, it does not. I actually feel like I need to wash my face more than once with my regular cleanser just to get the residue off from this cleansing balm and to get it all out of my eyes. This is just one of the worst cleansing balms that I've tried in a long time, actually. And I was really surprised because, like I said, I've been liking a lot from this brand and I expected a lot from this cleansing balm, and it just did not deliver. Speaking of not delivering, let's talk about the Olaplex 4D Dry Shampoo. I was expecting a lot from this. It's Olaplex. First of all, that brand is synonymous for quality, for delivering great hair care products. I thought they were going after the Living Proof Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo, which to me at this point is pretty much the gold standard for dry shampoos. It's my holy grail. I won't be without it. I couldn't wait to try this the moment it launched. But every time I used it, I felt like I was just spraying something in my hair just to do it. It didn't refresh my hair. It didn't absorb oil. It didn't volumize. I actually felt like my hair was limper than it was prior to spraying it in my hair. I shook the can more than you should have to shake a can of dry shampoo, thinking it was user error. Maybe I didn't shake it enough. Oh no, I shook that can of dry shampoo. I can't get any mileage from it. It's basically a pointless product for me. I was so excited for this launch, and this product does basically nothing for my hair. I mean, if somebody picked this up as their first dry shampoo, thinking this is what a dry shampoo is all about, I think they would be sorely disappointed and think, what's the point in dry shampoo? That's how disappointing this product was for me. I'd love to hear a hugely disappointing product that you've experienced recently in the comments down below. Now, to hear some products that I've had positive experiences with lately, be sure to click here. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.